Hello and welcome to episode 12 of Designer Speak. I'm your host Christopher Scott, and today I'm with Nicolas Camacho and Santiago Gómez. Today we're going to talk about what defines good and bad design. So for Nicolas, I think we'll start off with what defines good design. What is good design for you?
Well, we have to speak about this. There might be a lot of space for subjectivity and for a conception of aesthetics. Aesthetics differs in many different cultures.
Yes.
But fundamentally for me, I think the good designs is when design is invisible. When you don't
Design is invisible.
Design is invisible because design becomes a part of your life, improves your life, makes you feel better and happier. But you don't notice. You think it's a part, like an extension of yourself. Like for example, you don't think about how much design, how much creativity has been put in order to create this pen, but you actually consider this a part of your lifestyle. But imagine yourself working with a feather, with the ink and stuff like that, like 100 years ago, or like using a car now. It's like a projection of yourself, but in the past you had to walk everywhere you go, just use a horse or stuff like that. So it becomes a part of your living, a part of your life,
A part of society.
You don't realize how much you should be thankful to all past generations of inventions and knowledge that has been acquired through the time.
Wow, so the good design for you is that people don't understand or they don't see how much design has been involved in the process.
Becomes a part of life.
But the common people don't think about what is the process of a graphic designer.
That's true.
The people think like they give you idea, and just a graphic designer you make a click and all of this
All these wonderful things happen.
Yes, but they don't realize when
All
we're
the
making
work.
design, we're making a process. It's like, I don't know, I think in nuclear bomb, to make a nuclear bomb they need to study to make to create a development.
In Designer Speak we do not support nuclear bombs. No.
But this is a process, and for me as a designer, I think like bad design is like when you go and you turn on your computer, make 2 clicks, and copy some images of Google and mix together and create design, and you're thinking that one is to communicate to the people. But good designers for me, like I said before, like 10 times, like make research, make a sketch, understand the problem, connect with the problem, and make a solution, a visual solution for the problem.
Interesting. That's the thing, like, for design for me it's all about communication. That's what design is for me. Because I said in the last episode the eyes are so important and everyone uses their eyes, etc. But so for me, good design is the good communication of visual elements or a visual idea or a visual message. But then bad design is when they don't have that communication, or they don't have that visual communication or they don't have that. There's like a conflict or there's a confusion with that design. So like for me, like whenever someone is good and bad, it doesn't necessarily relate to whether design is ugly. Design can be ugly, but it can be awesome design. Design doesn't need to be beautiful. It's like what you said, design can be invisible. Design doesn't need to be amazing fonts or amazing colours or anything like that. It just needs to be a perfect communication or a perfect solution for that problem. Like, for me, there's a designer here.
I was thinking that.
Huh?
That's what I was thinking.
Like, they work with Peter Bankoff. this episode is sponsored by Peter Bancroft. No, it's not sponsored by Peter. But would I say Peter Bancroft's work is like beautiful? No. What I say is ugly? Kind of. But that doesn't take into consideration how if that's good design or not. I think Peter Bancroft is probably one of the best poster designers in the world. And it doesn't matter to me whether his work is ugly, his work is beautiful, his work is normal, it's all about, is Peter or is any other designer communicating what they want in their work. So that's like the key for good and bad design for me. But it's a communication, but obviously it depends on the person.
But one of the most important about good and bad design is whether it's centered on the users or not. Who is going to use, who's going to be the audience. And when is it good? We need to understand the needs, the wants, the environment. How are they going to use the product? How are they going, with the environment, are they going to see the piece of communication they are going to be shown? And when is it bad? When sometimes it might annoy you, annoy the people, confuse them, or sometimes it could even be like dangerous.
But that's the thing.
Why would it be dangerous?
Why is that?
For example, why do you
nuclear bombs? Like
why do you see bad signaling in a road? It creates confusion to the people, then some bad accident may happen. What if you see a bad signaling in a place, like in a bathroom for people with different capacities? So it might cause problems too. So that causes.
But it's when you do not communicate.
You're not communicating. You're not understanding what the design is. Because that's the difference between art and design. For me, there's not a big difference between art and design, but I think that's maybe another topic. But it's getting that message across. But then again, I look back at, do you know the London Olympic logo? Like, that logo created so much controversy, especially in England and UK and around the world. And people said it was ugly and it was horrible and it communicated no history, it communicated no message about the London Olympics. But then, because of all that controversy and all that problems, they communicated probably the most important logo in the history of the logos in the Olympics. They created the most important logo in the history of the world, probably. It's probably my favourite logo ever. Not necessarily because of the forms and the shapes and all those things, but because of how it grabbed the attention of the people. Because people before never concerned themselves about how the London Olympic logo was. They never think of that. But whenever Wolf Olins, the design studio who made that logo, that put design into the world in general. Like, everyone was talking about design. Everyone was talking about design of that logo.
About the logo.
And that was maybe that was one of the objectives of the company. But that's what good design is. It gets your attention also. Bad design is like, okay. It's okay.
I think
good design is either people say it's bad or good. I absolutely love when people say to me, oh, I don't like that poster. At least it's getting a reaction from the people. Design is like, you need to get that reaction from the people. It's like, bad design, for me, is like, it's okay. I think the logo is okay. But good design is whenever people say, oh, this logo, or this poster, or this design is bad.
The people.
And this logo is good, or this logo is bad, or this poster is bad. So it's whenever they get a reaction or that connection or to that they want to express their opinion.
But one of the important things about design is that good design empowers people. Helps the people to get information, interact with the people, capacitates the people, and at the same time it has to be some form of beautiful but functional. Not all the time it has to be functional.
Not all the time it has to be beautiful, because
exactly. And the difference about the conception about beauty sometimes might be a situation.
Depends on the person. It depends on the person.
All of the people can say like, this is beauty for me and this is so ugly for me. But
it all depends on the person as well, because if you're in a relationship with a girl or whatever
you'll have,
in your case a boy, Santiago. But listen, but getting back to the point is like, if you see a girl in the street, for example, and I could say that girl is beautiful, and you could say, no,
All the girls are beautiful.
all of the girls are beautiful.
all humans are beautiful in their own right, but it all depends on the person's perspective. And I don't agree that good design and bad design is based on beauty. That's one thing I would disagree with you on that, is that I don't believe that the good or bad design is based on beauty, because some of the most iconic logos and posters and design and videos and animations in the world are simply not beautiful, but they do function as what they're trying to communicate and what message they're trying to give to the
That
people.
is graphic design. Communicate something. Is functional. I think you're making a logo. The logo, doing the horizontal side, going to work, or if you put the logo in vertical side, going to work.
Because it's functional.
When you create the design, it needs to be functional. Not for you, just for all of the world. You need to have
Plus, and as a relation, whenever we're doing posters, Santiago, it's like, whenever I make a poster, I try to make it without words, because then it becomes functional for all around all the world.
For me, when I make poster, I want to make more iconic. You can use that poster, not in a vertical way, in a billboard, like in a horizontal way, t-shirts, whatever you want. That is the reason I love making posters, because you can create something functional, just not for your objective. It's more for the worldwide. And when the people looks that, and they think like, okay, the Volkswagen logo, I can put in horizontal, I can put in vertical, I can put in t-shirts, I can put whatever I want. That is a good design.
Good design is functional,
because
bad design is non-functional.
the designers are thinking just not for the objective the company gives you, because so much times the company comes and say like, okay, I want my logo in my pen. It's like, okay, but needs to be functional. You need to read the font, the typography. You need to have visibility. You need to have a connection with that, and that is not going to work just for the pen. If you put the same logo in, I don't know, in a t-shirt, going to work at the same, going to transmit a message. That is a good design for me.
The actual functionality of what the design does.
Yeah, but I think it's more about something pleasant, relaxing, and that makes us feel better with ourselves. Well, that might be. I agree to disagree.
Maybe, I think it's more than that. It's actually very complicated, like what is exactly good and what is exactly bad. And yeah, guys, like if people comment on your work and they don't like it, or they do like it, or they're just normal, that's all part of the process of design. Sadly, like people are going to not like some of the work that you do. Some people are going to like what you're going to do. It's just a matter of opinion. What is good and what is bad, and it's very, very fickle, those areas of what is good and what is bad. So yeah, thank you to Nicolas and thank you to Santiago for joining me today. Thank you again to our production team, Dave Rabbit. Yeah, we are Designer Speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you guys.